man, it's
And this
time to
next
talk
fight,
about it, bro.
man, I mean, this was the fight that I wanted to buy the pay-per-view for this fight and the one after it more so than I did Volk. And that's my whole point when I came in on the prelims talking
Yeah,
about Volkanovski being the main event wasn't the true main event of this, because I don't think it's – and here's my real problem with it too, man. I'll be very clear about this. He gets more pay-per-view points than anyone else as the main event belt holder with the most consecutive title defenses. So he reaps the most money off the pay-per-views that are sold. Well, fucking Ian Gary – well, not Ian Gary, but Khamzat and the Aljo
hope,
Sterling beef sold this for him way more than him versus Zombie.
hopefully Volk, buys Chimaev maybe a nice steak and a watch or something. Hey, who knows? You know what
Yeah,
I mean? But
you would think.
that type of shit happens. But this fight, I swear, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back and sound like Genius McGee. This fight honestly looked kind of how I thought it was going to look, as far as I thought this fight was going to be close. I don't think a lot of people did. Like I said, we talked last week about how we didn't like the huge money line. Like, Gilbert Burns is a real motherfucker, a real top guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, almost finished Usman when he fought for the belt. Like, almost.
yes,
Like, he was close.
almost. Like, I thought he did. In real time, when I was watching that fight, I thought he knocked Usman out and won the belt. Like, for that 2-second little increment in time in slow-mo, I thought he won a belt.
Before we dive into the rounds on this, this was my very first thing I wrote on my notes for this fight. It's before the fight began. And this is right after they got introduced, right? Right after. I wrote, I can't tell if these odds are justified or not, but damn is Chimaev entertaining. He's just entertaining to watch, man. Like, when he sprinted out to the octagon, his demeanor in the octagon, sitting on the cage, watching Burns walk out so that he can be elevated to see him come in. I don't know. I loved it all.
Man, this is an overused term, and you maybe use the word cliche if you want, but Khamzat captures the imagination. Like,
for sure.
When you listen to him, when you watch him, like, you question, like, what's possible for a human being to do.
And that's but that's part of the odds, right? That's why I was like, I can't tell if they're justified or not, because his mentality.
Is he
literally
Superman? But he might be.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing Vegas was struggling with. It was like, is this dude as good as he knows and acts like he is? Or is this dude as good as everyone in his camp has been telling us he is for the last 3 years? Or is this dude not fought the top tier guys and maybe he's not that good?
See, man, and I literally, and I said these exact words last week when we were talking. Man, there's just not a human being on earth, given how close Burns fought Usman, that there's not a human being on earth that Burns should have been a plus 375 under.
No, there's absolutely no way.
You can give me maybe plus 200, plus 220, sure, whatever. But plus 375, man, no, I guess when it's all said and done, Vegas gets the last laugh, but
Khamzat was plus 110 by KO. That's so disrespectful to Burns. They're saying it's almost even money if you bet Khamzat to win by KO TKO. That's so disrespectful to Burns.
But it's not the only reason, like, when you put it in relation to the minus 550, it's, I don't know. I guess.
Yeah, that's fair. But then it's like, but in that same aspect, Khamzat to win a decision was plus 380.
Yeah,
because he doesn't go to decision. So I get that.
Yeah,
but also it's like
what we got here.
Yeah, right. Because Burns is good enough.
Well, because that was my question. Is what the fuck does a round 3 Khamzat look like? And I gotta say,
he seems scary. He seems scary,
but he also seemed human.
He seemed human, but think about the punches he had just eaten in round 2, and then to come out and just put the storm back on him again in 3. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, his will. Let's get to it, man. Because, I mean, what was your favorite round?
Probably round 2.
Round 2, right?
Round 2, right? Because you start to see Superman have his mask taken off. And you start to realize he ain't all that super.
It's just like, oh, dude.
Or like the underdog, or like Burns had already been through so much damage in round 1, which I scored round 1 to Khamzat. I think we all scored this fight the same, right? 1 and 3 are Khamzat, 2 is Burns. And there's knockdowns for the winner of each round in each round. Like Khamzat knocked Burns down in 1 and 3. Burns knocked him down in 2 and had him in. Dude, it was dangerous at at the end of round 2 when Khamzat got knocked down.
Oh, dude, like Burns has the ability to knock out anybody, man. Like Burns, actually, I have a hot take for you. Burns has the heaviest hands in the welterweight division.
I totally agree, 100%. I was just about to say the same thing, and that Usman can't eat the power the same way Chimaev could. I think Chimaev's chin is better than Usman's.
All of those statements are fucking true.
It's crazy,
which is
bro.
fucking fun and exciting, right?
Well,
See,
and it's even more fun too.
Everybody's trying to. Oh, go ahead, bro. My bad.
I was just gonna say we saw Khamzat put his hands on this way last night because he couldn't get the takedown. It's almost like if Khabib couldn't get the takedown, and we'd have to see him strike, and we got to see what that's like.
There's something to talk about there, though. There's something to talk about there because even his coach, like,
his coach was freaking out. Like, why are you standing with him?
I think Khamzat like went rogue. Like, I don't think that he couldn't take Burns down. And maybe it's revisionist history. Maybe it's, benefit of the doubt. But, like, Khamzat is saying, like, he was, like, hell-bent on standing and banging with Burns. And his coach was salty about it. He abandoned the game plan. He went rogue. I don't know. So that's one side of the story. Or do you believe it's because he couldn't take Burns down? Or what do you think?
I mean, fight opens up with Khamzat shooting in, getting up against the cage, getting a takedown, but Burns immediately is back up and is turning his back to stand up.
That's what my interest was like already peaked. I was like,
as soon as because when Burns is standing up, he also punched Khamzat 5 times in the head, and I was like, he just hit him more than he's been hitting the rest of the UFC, and he's standing up from a takedown. So already
like off the rip.
Yeah, the cloak that was over Khamzat of like untouchability is being just slowly pulled down, right? And then by the end of round 1, you see Burns get hurt and survive for like 2 minutes. And then you realize Khamzat might be in for a night he didn't expect.
Yes, right. And like, what does Khamzat look like after that initial burst? We've never seen it.
And how does that affect him mentally whenever he can't get his opponent out in the first round?
And cardio-wise, because he mentally and physically.
And he did throw a crazy flurry with about a minute to go to try and get Burns out, and it couldn't do it. And so it speaks to your point of like, you'll gas out doing that. You got to be careful doing that.
Yeah, we've seen it happen a million times. It kind of looked like that's what happened a little bit because Burns came out and won round 2. I mean, busted Chimaev's nose, which once again, like seeing Superman bleed, seeing Darth Vader bleed, seeing, insert larger than life, you know what I mean, character there. Like seeing Chimaev's nose bleed and him like grab at it was like it was theatrical. It was fucking
Yeah, absolutely, man. And then for Burns to hurt Chimaev 2 minutes into round 2, and then for Chimaev to survive the way he survived, my whole takeaway was like my mental image coming into the fight was entirely wrong. Entirely wrong.
See, I'll be real, I fucking thought some shit like this would happen because it was just like, I'm just cliche McGee today. I played too much Madden as a kid, but like the unstoppable force meets an immovable object. Like it was just like collision course. And that's why I disagree with the money line so much because like, obviously, did I predict fight of the year or I thought it was, stylistically, just who each man was. It wasn't like either of these guys was going to like wimp out or break or, if I told Burns and Khamzat Chimaev.
Yeah, if I told you this fight would look incredibly similar to Gaethje Chandler, you would look at me like I was crazy. Leading into the fight, if I was like, yeah, this fight's going to go just like Gaethje Chandler, it's going to be a war for 15 minutes. No one would expect that.
I thought there was going to be a lot more scrambles, a lot more
grappling transition, defense from clinch, things like that. It just turned into a banger, like a stand-up banger.
Yeah, bro, I never made the Chandler Gaethje comparison, but you're right.
Super similar. It's super similar.
And how fun is that to see two world-class grapplers just fucking say,
just decide to throw it on the
pissing contest.
Yeah, just put it on the floor and let's just start throwing them.
That's what we saw, man. It was, like I said, man, theatrical, dramatic, fucking. I feel like there needed to be goddamn symphony playing in the background. It was just.
Oh, dude, it was a beautiful fight. And then so I have it 1919, obviously, all of the world dead, I believe, at that point. And Chimaev's corner, that's when you see him at the end of round 2. His corner is freaking out. Yeah. Essentially, and we don't have a translator, but I guarantee you they were saying, take him down, quit striking with him, take him down, take him down, take him down.
The coach did an interview with, I think, Ariel or some fucking buddy, and they said exactly what you just said.
Right, which I'm not in disagreement with them. Like, they know his skill set. They know he is a better wrestler than striker. And if he's striking adequately, why not just try and get on top and have dominant position and not be in the danger zone of getting put to sleep like he almost did with 6 seconds to go in the round?
It makes you wonder, like, can Khamzat be put to sleep? Because, like, if some of those shots didn't do it.
See, that's my thing is, does he have the best chin in welterweight, him or Colby Covington?
Man, but don't all fucking welterweights have chins, though? Like, look at that list. Usman, Covington, Chimaev, Burns has a fucking chin of his own, right? I mean,
so let me ask you.
Bilal Muhammad, Luque, I mean, they
all yeah, Luque has a crazy chin, too. Luque has a crazy chin.
They all have chins. I mean.
Okay, so let me ask you this. With Khamzat beating Burns in a close fight that we all agreed was 2 rounds to 1, but it was a close fight. We saw Khamzat get closer to the fire than he's ever been put, right? Like, he had his feet to the fire, and he walked away on some hot souls. So, with all that in mind, Usman's going to fight probably the winner of Muhammad Luque for the next title shot.
He's booked against
Edwards.
Which is fucking annoying at this point. It's so annoying.
I don't disagree, but do you think the winner of Muhammad Luque, which is this next week, should fight Chimaev next to see who gets the title shot? Or Chimaev was talking about Covington.
Well,
Covington calls him come shot.
Dana was talking about Covington, which I think his opinion matters more than anything.
And it sounds like he said that is the fight they're going to do, which is Chimaev Covington.
See, man, I have an opinion on this.
I think Colby's problematic for Chimaev. Big time if it's a 5-round. Big time.
Ooh, that's interesting, but that's not even my point. I think Khamzat did enough. I think that was about as heavy a lifting as you could possibly do.
Well, the only way he could have done better would be to just outright just dog walk Burns out in 1 round, right? But I think that leaves a lot of other questions unanswered. Whereas this way, we have all these questions answered. Yeah. Dude's got a chin. Dude's got a heart. Dude can fight 15 minutes hard no matter what. His power's crazy. His chin's crazy.
Oh, but you're saying if he fights Covington in a 5-rounder, that's
the cardio.
The
cardio becomes
cardio.
The 4 and 5, especially against a guy like Covington that pushes pace so crazy. Because Usman has that same cardio. That's where Covington and Usman meet each other, is the cardio.
You're right.